Well, welcome back once again, guys. Welcome back to the fascinating world of PCs. You know, it's JJ with you once again. First time here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, don't forget about the notification bell. Well, let's see, let me let everybody get in here and let's see what's cooking. Hello there, MTBK. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome back once again. I'm going to let everybody climb in, you know, so that way they can get a chance to hear what's going to be cooking and everything else. Just to give you a little bit of hint, we're going to talk about the newest drivers from NVIDIA. And I'm going to be asking in the end, you know, in a while, not now. I'm going to be asking you guys, did you actually test out the 580.88 drivers? I'm going to be asking you guys and getting your input right here in the chat. But if you're not able to watch and get in on the chat, do remember you can leave a comment on the video and what you thought about the 580.88 drivers. If they were good for you, or they're bad for you, or they're just totally obnoxious, or they're awesome, you know, leave a comment. So this way you give me a good idea of who's liking it and who's not liking it and so on. Does it game for you? That's what this video is all about, is to find out. I was just gonna this is a live stream. I was going to make a video on this and let you guys tell me what you think, but I wanted to hear it live. That's the reason why we're doing it live today, is I wanted to know what you guys were thinking. Oh, and also, too, don't forget to get your drink and snacks. By the way, I got mine right here. Splash. Mango Peach. It's not a girl thing, it's a guy thing. I like the mango peach. Splash! Anyway. Not a sponsor anyway. They could be. I made sure I had extra because I know this is going to be a long stream. So, I'll give it about a minute or two, let everybody get in here, and then we're going to get it started. You guys know what the stream's about? You read the thumbnail? You should know what it's about. If you read the description of my videos, then maybe that'll give you a little more detail what we're going to be talking about. And I know. I just want you guys to hear me out. I know last week was a little bit rough. Or this week. Or no, I think it was this week. I know this week was a little bit rough. But Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to be out towards Los Angeles. So I'm not going to be in town. I'm not going to be on the YouTube. But Wednesday, I'm hoping to be back here Wednesday for a 6 o'clock stream. Hopefully Wednesday. So that way it kicks off really good. And yes, I know I'm doing this stream at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's because you guys seem to flow in between 3 and 4 o'clock my time. So I just wanted it to flow in a little bit better. And don't get scared. Don't run away. Don't click off of this live stream. Get in on the action. That's why we're here. We're not here to play any games. Well, yeah, we are here to play games, but not that kind of game. So, I'm not here to give everybody false hopes. Okay, I noticed that a lot of people now these days are fear mongering and everything else. We're not here to fear monger today. We're not here to do that whatsoever. We all have our goods and our bads with these drivers, and when it comes to NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, ASRock, and the rest of the companies that are out there. We know we all have our issues with them. Kind of leave them back in the past. Let's move forward. And I'm going to tell you, between the drivers between the 577 and it's NVIDIA's drivers 577.00 and the 580.88, I didn't see a difference. I did not see a difference. With no enhancements, no BS, just strictly drivers, there's nothing that I can tell you that's going to be good. They're the same, but the good thing is there's no crashing, no black screening, stable drivers so far. Now, if you think they're not stable, say something. When I'm sitting here talking about it and you guys want to put it out there to NVIDIA, tell them what you're thinking. And you can do that right here, either on the live stream, or you can leave a comment on the video and tell them what you're thinking. Say, hey NVIDIA, or hey AMD, or hey Intel. But right now we're talking about NVIDIA. If you want to leave a message to them so they can read it, believe it or not, they do read my messages that people leave on the videos. They do their homework to see where everybody's coming from. But when you got to complain about something and you want it fixed, you can't get it fixed by bottling it up and not saying a word. Truth, 100%. You're not going to get nothing accomplished if you don't say something about it. Now, when you guys leave me messages on these videos, I respond to you and tell you there's always hope at the end of the rainbow. Well, there's always hope at the end of the rope, let's say. So never lose hope when it comes to your PC. There's always hope. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Sometimes you got to make a little bit of a change to make it work. And guys, I can tell you this. My PC is AM4. I run an NVIDIA graphics card. So I should be the one that's having the most problems. I should be having, hands down, the more problems than anybody on this internet. And the reason why I'm saying I should have the problems is because I'm on last generation. You guys are 2 generations ahead of me. I guarantee it. You're at least 2 generations ahead of me. I should be having a problem when I game. I don't. I should be stuttering like crazy. I don't. So if these drivers are so bad, I should be black screening every time I start my computer. I don't. I haven't yet. Well, I'm going to say I haven't yet. I'm going to say twice I had to do 2 cold restarts. One for one driver version and one for another driver version. But that's the only two problems I've seen. Only two problems I've seen on these drivers. The most problem I had was using that DDU uninstaller. Totally fricked up my SSD. My SSD card. Totally fricked it up. It's not because I don't know how to use it. That's what everybody's going to say. You don't know how to use it, Jay. Yeah, I do know how to use it. I downloaded it from them, the recent one. Totally fricked up my solid state drive. So now I have to go get another solid state drive. Another M.2 SSD. Because trying to uninstall the drivers from Windows operating system with DDU uninstaller totally fricked up my drive. So there's two ways I can do it. One, I can get another motherboard. I can totally format the drive and reinsert it and call it a day. Which I'll probably do anyway. That's if it writes the zeros to it. But if not, then I'm going to have no other choice but throw it away and get another one. So that's another 50 bucks I got to throw away just because of one program. One program. I recommend NVIDIA's uninstaller. Use that if you're going to use NVIDIA. If you got an NVIDIA graphics card, use their uninstaller. AMD has their own uninstaller. Use that. And it'll take you to the right places, do the right things, and you're said and done. Now that I got that off my chest, totally pissed off because that costed me a little bit of money. But that's okay. I learned my lesson. Never touch DDU uninstaller ever again. Never. Never again. I learned my lesson. So, let's move on. I hope we got everybody here. I don't see Mr. Machine. He probably fell asleep on us. And, you know, hopefully not. Hopefully he didn't fall asleep on us. But I think he did. But what we're going to do while we wait is we're going to get the party started over on the action screen. See, now we're over here on the action screen. We're going to see what's cooking with 580.88 WHQL drivers done on the 31st. Let's see what the release highlights are. Game ready for Mafia, the old country. This new game ready driver provides the best gaming experience for the latest new games supporting DLSS 4 technology, which includes Mafia, the old country, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Now, this is the thing. They're leaving out DLSS 3. This is where I got a beef. They're leaving out DLSS 3. They're leaving out the 40 series. They're leaving out the 30 series. And they're leaving out the 20 series. That they so-called proclaim that can get part of DLSS 4. So, you're telling me just because it gets 2 more frames per second from Ada Lovelace onto, what do you call it? Oh, my mind. I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this. Blackwell. So you're telling me from Ada Lovelace to Blackwell. From Ada Lovelace to Blackwell. 2 more frames is going to make a difference. I don't think it will. Because I'm already hearing people using only frame generation X2 anyway on the 50 series. They're not even using X4. So, fixed gaming bugs. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, low performance. After updating to R575 drivers. Wow. World of Warcraft, artifact when ray tracing is enabled. StarCraft Remastered. Objects may display slight artifacts. Ooh. Cyberpunk 2077. Microstutters may be observed when VSync is enabled, which I don't turn that on. Nope. JX Online 3. Artifacts may appear on the water surface. 32-bit game crashing when using DXVK. Translation layer during startup. Control. Games may crash when ray tracing is enabled. Battlefield 2042. Random square flickering artifacts during gameplay. ABZU. Corruption observed in the water. Damn, somebody's always peeing in the pool. Stop it. Don't pee in a pool. I had to get that out there, by the way. EA Sports FC 25. General stability issues. Dirt 5. Game crashes on startup. Fixed general bugs. Blender. Black dots on reference image. Cloudflare warp. Display mode. Change blocked. On advanced Optimus systems. GPU scaling option is missing from NVIDIA control panel. GPU scaling option is missing from NVIDIA control panel. NVIDIA app when DSC monitor NVIDIA app when DSC monitor connected. Okay. Windows Photos, never use it. Trimming a video may cause the colors to be changed. Never noticed that because I use Clipchamp and I do contrast colors. GPU video memory runs at slightly lower speeds after enabling NVIDIA Smooth Motion. Too bad they haven't even given it to the 40 series yet, because they're locking it up behind the door of the developers, and they don't want to give it to the consumer, obviously. Because you got to do tricks to get it, and I'm not doing tricks to get it, and plus it's not the latest WQHL certified drivers from Microsoft, so I'm not going to install it until it is certified by Microsoft. I never, ever put in beta drivers. One reason is because you got all the crap that comes behind it. And I'm serious, all the crap that comes behind it. For some systems running hybrid graphics mode, DGPU may not go to sleep. Yeah, hybrid graphics mode means you're running more than you're supposed to be running. Samsung 57-inch Odyssey Neo G9. Momentary flicker may be observed when resizing window. LGE 27 GX 790A-B. Blank screen. Blank you. Oh no, blank screen when running it in DisplayPort 2.1 mode with HDR. Oh, never seen it, never happened. Can't say it did. Let's see. Is there anything else? Okay, so basically that's pretty much the nutshell about what NVIDIA's got cooking with the driver update. So, doesn't look like it's much. Could be something, but it doesn't look like it's much. So basically, the drivers from 577.00 and 580.88 are basically the same drivers, except for there's a little bit more fixes on 580.88 that might give you a little bit more enhanced performance. But as far as the base drivers, no, there's basically the same. So, somebody was wondering that. I can tell you from what I see, what I've tested between the two, I really don't see much. Nothing to write home about, but the only thing I don't see is I don't see artifacting and I don't see black screening happening. So that's a good thing. But looking down on the list, it looks like 16 series is supported, like the 1660 Super, and I'll take you guys with me. Okay, right here, the GeForce, the 16 series. Looks like the 16 series, 1660 Super, 1650 Super, 1660 Ti, 1660, the 1650, and the 1630 are supported. With these newest drivers, 10 series, 1080 Ti, 1080, the 1070 Ti, the 1070. So we got a 70 series card that's supported, you got a 60 series card that's supported, and a 50 series card that's supported. Too bad they don't have a 30 series or a 10 series. Then we can see what the benchmarking is on that. Looks like they're going to support the 900 series, like GTX 980 Ti, the 980, the 970, the 960, and the 950. 700 series, let's see what they got. 750 Ti, 750, and 745. Too bad. I have the GTX 7, or I think I got the 730. Is that? No, that's GT 730. My bad. This is GTX. So they can support in the Titan. So that's a good thing. And we got the additional information. So we really don't need that. But that is really good news. If people are on the 10 card, the 16 card, the 16 series, 10 series, 900 series, 700 series, and a Titan series. So it looks really good if you want to use older cards. It does support some of the 20 series, from the 2080 to the 2060. 30 series, it supports the 3090 Ti all the way to the 3050. 40 series supports all 40 series. There is no 4050, so. And the 50 series, you guys know it goes from the 5090 all the way down to the 5050. So, keeping all this in mind, the drivers look like they do a lot of coverage for quite a few games, and it looks like they're set and ready to go. if NVIDIA keeps this up, they might win back a couple people that they lost because of the driver series. Because people didn't want to wait, they just went to AMD. Now they're coming out with this software, so the software's starting to shape up. Let's see if they give us the 5090 series drivers for the 40 series and give us smooth motion. Because then the 40 series, the only thing it doesn't have is X3 and X4 on frame generation. Then we got everything else for, for the 50 series on the 40 series. And yeah, so much on the 30 series. But anyway, you guys get the point. You guys really get the point. I'm trying to bring this point to you. If you're on a 40 series card, you're rocking. If you didn't trade anything off, you're still rocking on your 40 series. You're not having any issues. The drivers look good and everything else. Just keep rocking. Keep rocking all the way up to the 60 series. Because it might turn out to be a good thing for the 60 series. That's what I want to find out. But right now, what we're going to try to find out is about the 50 series. And what I mean by that is the RTX 50 Super. The 50 series Super. Right here. We're going to be talking about that too. Looks like when Kopi 7 Kimmy began sharing details on the 50 Super series, they started asking around, but it quickly became clear that was way too early and for meaningful conversation about the refresh 50 graphics cards. The leaker only shared the most important changes, as such, in the introduction of 3 GB GDDR7 memory modules, higher TDPs, and clock adjustments. However, the Super update is for this generation appears to focus primarily on using higher density GDDR7 memory. We'll see. The general expectation of the RTX 50 series Super lineup will be unveiled at CES. That sucks. I'm just first reading this, so that's according to Tweaktown. NVIDIA might be planning an earlier release, possibly during the 2025 holiday season, or simply sometime in Q4. So if they're looking at a release around the same time Intel is going to release their Celestial graphics cards, yeah, it looks like NVIDIA is looking for another market to pick on. So you guys let me know your comment on that. I'd really like to know. Because they're saying where there's earlier rumors suggesting a CES 2026 launch, but based upon more recent sources, the RTX 50 Super Series is actually on track for Q4 or the holiday season release. And that's from Tweaktown and Costa Andredes. So, but they say this is the first time someone is claiming to have an update on the 50 Super Series. Previously, it was just speculations. Should NVIDIA stick to such launch schedule? Everybody wants to know. Or would it probably mean that the 3 gigabytes GDR7 memory is expected to be available in greater volume sooner, which we hope for? It's worth noting that only the SKU in the RTX 50 Super lineup is not focused on core count increase. It's only the SKUs. Only one SKU would see 4% more cores compared to the existing non-super SKUs. What is important? I ask the same question. What is important? Is the new card that are expected to feature a 50% increase in memory capacity and a 10 to 17% in power consumption more, assuming NVIDIA sticks to the specs shared earlier, which dates back to May, for the cards may not launch until late Q4. We all know that. So, any comments on that, guys? Let me know. They got a chart here that doesn't say what the cores are, but we got a plus 4%, and that means plus 256 more cores. So if you take the 5070, if they're saying that you add 256 more cores to it, that'll get you your answer. The capacity, you add another 5070 Super, total 18 gigabytes of VRAM, because that's a 12 plus 6. Memory clock, they don't know. Power consumption could be an additional 25 watts. So let's see what the rumored has to say right here. You got the 5090, the 5090D, and we got the 5090D version 2, which would be the 5090 double D. They're all carrying the same CUDA cores, 21,760. 5090 and the 5090D are carrying 32 gigabytes of GDR7 with the 512-bit bus, 575 watts released. The 5090D V2, same amount of cores, less memory. It's going to have 24 gigabytes of GDR7 at 384-bit bus, 575 watts. It's supposed to be out in August. This is August. Let's see what happens. We don't know. 5080 Super Series. It's supposed to have 1,752 CUDA cores, 24 gigabytes of GDR7 with the 256-bit bus at 415 watts. 5080, you guys know the drill on the 5080. I ain't got to go there. 5070 Ti Super, 8,960 CUDA cores, 24 gigabytes of GDR7, 256-bit bus, 350 watts. So it's 10 watts difference from the 5070 Ti. The 5070 Ti Super to the 5080. Wild. Because you really look at it, it's only like what, maybe 1,100 or 1,040 more cores than the 5070 Ti Super is 1,040 less cores than the 5080. But pushing, it's still not bad, guys. Look, I know I'm a little confused right now. You know, truthfully, I just don't know what to say. They got the 5070 Ti Super at 24 gigabytes of GDDR7 with the 256-bit bus, the same as the 5080. The 5080 Super, the 5070 Ti Super, and the 5080 Super. I don't know. You tell me. This has got me kind of baffled. But let's get on to the Super Series, the 5070 Super. Looking at the difference between the two, that's not much difference. Still the same amount of bus. Four gigabytes more, pulls 25 watts more. It's got the same bit bus, so it only pulls 25 watts more. I don't get it. I really don't. Guys, leave your comments. Let me know. As it's not hitting me hard enough just yet about the 50 series. So let's go back to the main screen. I'm gonna tell you, it's not that it's not impressing me. It's kind of make me feel like that they're only giving me, from a 5070 standard, they're giving me like 1.25% more because of the VRAM, but anything else, they're not really giving it to you. It's got me, sheesh. It's got me thinking about it. It's definitely got me thinking. Yeah, it definitely got me thinking. Let's see if there's anything else around the world news. Let's see. Oh yeah, they were talking about the Threadripper as well. It was supposed to launch on the 31st. Not all of us carry $1,700 in our pocket. Nobody's going to pay for a motherboard that costs $500-600. Not even buy a graphics card to support all that for $10,000. So basically, it's just buying a $20,000 computer, basically, when people don't have that kind of money to buy Threadripper. Sorry, I'm just giving my kind of point of view on it. I just think it's not right. I really don't. Gigabyte removes unofficial PCIe 5.0 support from B650 motherboards in the latest update. Ooh. Let's go there and look at that. Gigabyte removes unofficial. Believe it or not, PCIe 5.0 is unofficial. They never implemented it correctly for it to work correctly. Especially on a B650 motherboard. You were hell diving, huh? I see you, Mr. Machine. It's alright, you can be late. Hello, Retro Master. And thank you for joining. I do appreciate it, my man. And welcome back to the live stream. I was kind of getting worried you guys weren't going to show up. But you showed up. Now let's kind of roll back a little bit so we can talk about the game ready drivers. Since you guys missed a little bit, we're going to do a snapback really quick. Game ready drivers, guess what? I don't see much difference. The RTX 50 series threatening to be launched near Christmas time, and if you're good, you might not get cold. If you're bad and you get these people talking crap about these companies, they're not gonna launch anything till 2026, and maybe you won't get a GPU for free, and maybe they won't give you the drivers, and maybe they'll just make you suffer to death because you cry, complain, and everything else. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just getting it off my chest, guys. Because, you know, when a company gives you something, okay, for you to test out for your independent test, don't smash the company on them building something for low budget gaming that you're never gonna touch. Being a reviewer means you look at the spectrum of the field from the beginning to the lowest end to the highest end. You just don't pick out whatever you want and whatever you feel to tell everybody because it's your 2 cents. That's not helping the community. That's actually stirring up the community and putting hate in the community. It's already bad enough people are complaining about the prices. Keep this up, and you know, because oh, we didn't get the drivers on time. Oh, we didn't get any graphics card. I had to buy it myself, kind of crap. You know what? If I have to buy it myself, then I got no other choice. And if I can't buy it for myself for this channel, I have to wait. So that gives you a positive note to look at. I would get the 5070 Super. You're right, and so would I. So would I. You'll get coal in your box, in the box, and not the GPU. I think they already tried to do that with the 5090 over there on what was it? Micro Center. But somebody got a bucket of fish. Somebody got a bucket of fish instead of a 5090. You can't beat that. The bucket of fish costs less than the GPU. I think you got ripped off somewhere. So, guys, it's coming down to the time. Who's going to pay $700-800 for a card especially a 9070 XT with 16 gigabytes, when you got on the forefront the 5070 Super with 18 gigabytes and a whole hell of a lot better ray tracing. They'll probably end up putting it $550 to $600 to start with. Make sure you save up your money too. Yep. Make sure you save up your money, because you're going to need to. We don't know what price these graphics cards are going to be, but if NVIDIA follows the tradition of the 5070, then it looks like we might get it for $550, $600 bucks. That's hoping they follow the tradition that they've been setting, the precedent that they've been setting ever since the 4070 launched. So maybe we'll get a $550 18 gigabyte VRAM card. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Does any one of you guys know? I don't know. I like to know. But we'll keep our eye out to find out if it does or doesn't. And we'll let you know, definitely. I know, just saying, yeah, we know you know their machine. It's all good. I'll be keeping my 4070 Super for a while. Well, you know, if I look at it, I think I'm almost to the 3rd year. Maybe. Let's see and find out if I'm almost at my 3rd year. Alrighty, I'll just switch you. Well, you guys are already here. What am I talking about? Okay, so April 13th, 2023. And this is 2025, almost 2026. Wow. I thought I got mine in 2022. Am I missing something? I must be missing something. I thought I got mine in 2022. Oh, this is 6X. Could have swore I got mine in 2022. Can't be. Or it can be. So that means I haven't had this card this long? I thought this would be my 3rd year, but I guess it's my 2nd year. I'm just losing my marbles, obviously. Guys, let me know in the comments if I'm losing my marbles. I guess I am losing my marbles. So we'll have to wait on that. We'll have to wait on that. That's already out, the 5080. So, fun fact, I can't keep my days straight. I'm losing my freaking marbles now. I must be. For 1080p, the 4070 will be great for a few more years. Yeah, I'm just hoping I get 5 more years. That's all I'm hoping for, getting that 5 more years. Retro Master says, I am trying to budget for a PC build, and my buddies are recommending a 5080 for my budget build. But I'm not sure about it. Are you not sure about the graphics card, or you're not sure about the pricing? That's the thing. You got to be sure if it's about if you're not sure about the graphics card or you're not sure about the pricing. I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure about neither. Because they took PhysX 32-bit off of it. They lost a few ROPs. So I don't know. Output resolution doesn't determine the resolution. You can play games at any more, since you can output 4K with DLSS performance and still run the game at 1080p. Yes, that's called dynamic screen resolution. You can play on a 1080p monitor at 4K and have lower latency, but still have better performance. That's a simple secondary solution to buying a 4K monitor. We know. So, well, a 5080 is almost $1,400 to $1,500. Okay. Wait for the Super Series. You don't know. You might get a better card. Just wait for the Super Series. Retro Master, like I said, if you're going to get a graphics card, either you wait till 2026 or you wait till Christmas time when they pop out the Super Series. And if they pop out the Super Series, then you probably can get more VRAM on your graphics card for about close to equal of, of the original price of the original ones they launched. So if you get a 5080 Super, and let's say the 5080 Super, they got it $1,600. Let's just say a 5080 Super, they got it $1,600. That looks like it's equal to the 4090, but as far as benchmarking, is it going to run the same as the 4090? When they're only giving you 24 gigabytes of VRAM on the 5080 Super? Who knows? So, I say like this, any card that's below, and this is for the consumers, any card that's below, now, I agree with you guys, $1,000, Usually I say $600, but any card below $1,000 is going to be a great card. I don't think anybody needs to spend that much money, over $1,000, just to buy a graphics card. Why? You're just going to, in a couple years' time, you're going to exchange it up anyway for the newest and best thing that comes out. There's no sense of buying a card that's totally high end and you know you'll switch it out in a couple years. So it doesn't make sense to, you know, buy a card and lose out on performance. Yes, machine. Yes, machine. Oh, the PNY 5080 16 gigabyte OC. Okay, think about it like this. When the Super Series comes out, they're going to have a 5070. The 5070 with 300 and some more cores. And they're going to be running that at 18 gigabytes of VRAM. 2 gigabytes more than the 5080. So even if the 5080 is at $1,000, like you're saying here, machine, they could do the same thing with the 5070 Super. Truthfully, they could. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. I mean, the 5070 right now has got 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Now they're pushing in 6 more gigabytes. What's wrong? What's wrong with this picture? How much more compute does the 5080 have over the 5070? Well, let's look at it. Let's find out. Let's see, the 5070. Let's say the 5080 specs. Okay. $5070 has 6,144 cores. Okay, so we get our calculator out, right? And we say 6,144 minus that from that. And then we come over here and say the 5080 has 10,752. Well, between the 5070 and the 5080 is 4,608 cores. So, you're right. You're right. It goes from the 6,000. So, goes from 6,400 minus the 6,144. That's not a lot of difference. The only difference is the VRAM and the bus bandwidth the same, you know, it's really hard. So you can't really compare the 5070 to the 5080 anyway. We all know that because the 5080 is going to have different parameters than the 5070. Because, you know, you're looking at like the TMUs alone, you're looking at 336 compared to 192. The ROPs are at 80 and then 112. You know, you can't really compare it. Plus the price, you really can't, you know, compare the price to it neither. $1,000 MSRP. You can't compare the two. So that's just my opinion. Everybody's got their own opinion about it, but that's just my opinion. Hello, Nausea. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, bus bandwidth does matter a lot, but you know, you're trying to weigh the 5080 compared to the 5070. You know, there's a big difference between the two. One is the price, because you're going from a $600 card to a $1,000 card. There's a $400 difference between the two. So yeah, I mean, and the bus, yeah. So you got a lot that's going on between the two. What card I would choose? I would stay as low budget as I can for now. I'm going to tell you guys why. I would stay low budget as much as I can for now until the 60 series comes out. I am not going to worry about the 50 series. I'm just going to take my head really out of the 50 series. Is because there's certain things that they done to the cards. They overpriced the cards. And it's just been nothing but a shit show. So, but everybody, you know, if you want to buy it, that's up to you. I'm just telling you what I would do. That's me. But to me, I feel it turned out to be just a little bit of a shit show. Just a little bit. Not too much. Just a hair bit. They could have left the physics on the 50 series. They could have increased the core count on some of the graphics cards. And you guys are right. They could have increased the bus bandwidth as well. But they didn't. But they give you a high price for less. That's what bothered me. So, I'm reading what you guys are writing now. So, the 5080 would be stronger card even with 2 gigabytes less of VRAM, right? Yeah, machine. It'll still be a powerful card, but in the long run, if you go to match the two, which one's going to really crap out on you? The 5070 or the 5080? No one's ever really, well, they have put it head to head, but it's always, the 5080 is always going to be above the 5070. So I wouldn't even want to put those head to head anyway. Really doesn't matter. But the VRAM, as far as that, you can take and go through all 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and the 5080 takes a dump, while the 5070 with 18 gigabytes of VRAM is still running. So yeah, there is kind of a caveat between the 2 gigabytes of VRAM. You know, it can give out on you the 5080, but the 5070 could still run on that itsy bitsy 2 gigabytes. So yeah, it could be possible. Bandwidth for a GPU is calculated by bus. Well, we know, see, the thing is, we know this. I do agree with that. Fake frames. I do agree with that. We understand that. But sometimes even those calculations can take and run you a little bit dry on some things. Some things. Like the balance between the two. I see everybody trying to balance an 8 gigabyte card versus a 16 gigabyte card. But what happens when the 5080 runs out of VRAM and your 5070 with 18 gigabytes is still kicking? What then? There's the balance. It's just like between 8 gigabyte card and 16. It could happen. It could happen. You could wind up getting crashed off of a game. It's possible. Just like Machine will tell you with the 7900 XT, 20 gigabytes of VRAM. That don't last forever. There's some games that'll pull it to its max. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. Unless you balance your display settings and make it look and run correctly, and not going willy-nilly with, you know, trying to overclock the specs, your card will last you a long time. But a lot of people don't, they want balls to the wall all the time. And that's not really how you want to look at running your graphics card. If you want to spend $4,000 or $5,000 and put it balls to the wall, more power to you. My graphics card will outlast excuse me. My graphics card will outlast anybody that's overclocking their card 24/7 and expecting to get more performance. When it starts reducing in performance and going up in heat, and it's not performing like it used to when you first got it, well, that's because of all the overclocking you've done on it. You've done stressed out the silicon on the GPU die. So it's best to just run it at stock the way it is. Don't put no overclock on it. Just let it run naturally. So how are these 50.88 drivers working for you? Well, for me, they're working fine. I don't have a problem with them. I have no crashing, no blue screening, nothing. So they're working fine for me. I am running the latest NVIDIA driver on my 4090 and the 9800 X3D right now. 40 series haven't had any problems. One or two people complained about having problems with the driver updates. That was back 2 drivers ago, but I can tell you so far I'm not having any. Problem with memory bandwidth is that if you don't have enough GPU compute and the cache for the memory bandwidth, the extra speed from GDR7 doesn't matter. That's true. I do agree with that. Nausea says I'm at 576.88. is the only driver to ever crash this box. It took 200 hours of runtime with sleep, no reboot, for it crater. Wow. Fake Frame says, I use DDU and NV clean install every time I switch NVIDIA drivers to prevent anything outside of the driver version causing issues. Well, I hate to tell you this, I don't use it. Period. I just update the driver. I don't need to uninstall and reinstall it because you cause more problems than you think. Like I said before, when you pull out a driver, you pull out the DLL files that could be connected to another program, and guess what happens? No response of the other program when you install the new drivers because they didn't overlap. You guys do it your way, that's fine. That's the way you like to do it. I'm going to do it my way. I have never had any issues with the way I do it. So you're just adding more work onto something that's for nothing. You think there's little extra drivers left? No, there's not. No one can prove that. There's no little extra drivers nowhere. No one can prove that. That's been a song and dance everybody's been saying for many years. Uninstall the drivers, reinstall new drivers every time an update comes up. Ever since I've had my graphics card, the 4070, from day one, I've been updating the driver one by one by one by one by one. No clean install, nothing. Do you see me crashing? No. Do you see me having problems? No. The ones that are having problems are some of them that don't, with their computer, that have different setups that just, it doesn't work. If you know how to, put in the drivers to your system, that's you. Me, I would never use that program DDU uninstaller. I don't even use NV clean. There's no sense. It's just a gimmick of waste of time in my book. Everybody else thinks it might be something in theirs, but to me, it's a waste of time. Simple. Hey, Born Joker, good to see you. Good to see you. It all comes down to temperature. If you can get more performance and keep the temperature or even improve them, that is the best thing. Of course, it is common to get crashes and artifacts from leaving old GPU drivers installed. That's only if you're switching from one GPU to the next. That means if I go and I plug in a GTX 1650, pulling out my RTX 4070, which the drivers on this are the same drivers on that, switching graphics cards is one thing. If I'm switching graphics card, yeah, I'm taking out the drivers and reinstalling the drivers. But if I'm using the same graphics card, there is no sense. And I know you guys can fight with me on that all day, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. It makes no sense to take and rip all the drivers out, especially when you got certain programs that are already set and ready. It just overwrites the drivers. The DLL files and everything get overwritten. That's a part of the program. It's always been like that for years. So everybody's just have that fascination that, you know, I'm going to crash to death and everything else. You know, this isn't Windows 95. Windows 11 is a little bit more stable than Windows 7 even. So I agree. Nausea says, agree as long as you're going forward. But going backwards in driver version DDU can be helpful. That I do agree. If you're getting crashes and you're having problems and you have to lower your resolution to resolve it, then yeah, I can understand using the program. But if you're not, and you're moving forward and you're not having crashes or anything else, I can't see to be using it at all. At all. I have every driver from every month when I first bought my 4070 from day one to now. I have every one of them saved. I have every one of them that I put into this system, the current system, this graphic card resided in. I have not took this graphics card out ever. So, for somebody to tell me that I need to put and take out the drivers, rip everything out, and then reinstall new drivers, I'm sorry, when you put your programs in your computer, everything works in harmony. And you think by ripping out the drivers and then putting them back in, it's going to make it work in harmony. It's not. It's actually going to disrupt each one of the programs that you have in there. And sometimes it might not. Some of the times it might. You might have to reinstall another program just to overwrite to put the driver on top. It's just like with Windows. When you do Windows Update, you put Windows Updates in first and make sure it's updated full before you decide to take and update your graphics card drivers. Period. Because one writes on to the other. I've never had a problem with my PC. And everybody tells me they had a problem with this. Hardware combinations is one thing. If you don't have the right platform hardware combination, and then you go to, update your graphics card, and you're black screening and you're crashing and everything else. And then even some people that I know, you know what they do? They turn around, they DDU it, trying to fix it. They just make it worse. So, I mean, they really make it worse. So, to fix the problem, you simply just reinstall the drivers. Sometimes you could have a hiccup in your drivers. Sometimes the drivers you download could have a hiccup in the drivers. So you turn around, delete the ones you just downloaded, go and re-download new drivers, and reinstall it again. Sometimes that corrects it too. But to fully rip it all out, I mean, you're using the same graphics card. There's no sense of ripping it all out. It just gives a bonus to your graphics card. So I know some you guys do it your way. I do it my way, and I explain to everybody because this is my journey, and I do it this way. So if you don't, then that's up to you. That's your gig. But this is the way I do it. I never have crashes or anything else. And some of the people that been with me on this channel for a long time can tell you the same thing. They don't have this problem because they do it the way I do it. So clean install should be sufficient for going backwards versions. You do a clean install is if you have crashes or anything else. You don't have crashes, then keep moving forward. Just update the software. The drivers are like this. They all carry with one each other. They're all basic. What attaches to the drivers is the enhancements, like you got on the NVIDIA app that attaches to it. Just the enhancements. So basic drivers are basic drivers. Simple. When you benchmark your GPU, do you get a sufficient score? My score is just fine. My score, when I benchmark every time, if you're thinking about what's that program on Steam, forgot the name of it. I'll start up Steam and I'll tell you what the name is. I forgot what the name was. That's if you want synthetic benchmarks. You know, if you don't want synthetic benchmarks, then 3D Mark. Yeah, my bad. It was 3D Mark. So you can synthetic benchmark your PC. That's not going to really tell you anything. It's not. Yeah, it looks good when you guys get on the leaderboard, but every time that I benchmark with 3D Mark, and I go back through all my benchmarks, which I do save, there might be 1 or 2%. That's it. I mean, does it really change? Not really. Maybe 1 or 2%. But it's always going upwards. It's never going backwards. It's always going upwards. If it was going backwards and I was losing score, then yeah, I would be concerned. But I'm not losing score. So I'm not worried. I use Furmark to bench my GPUs. Well, yeah, you can do that, yeah. I mean, you can use MSI Combustor, you know, to benchmark your GPU. You can use that because it'll give you an FPS reading. You can use OCCT. You could use that too. Furmark, like you guys said, you can use that. Depends on what you want to use. You know, you can watch Heaven Benchmark and look at the consistency of the FPS to see for a certain amount of time how much FPS you're getting. I mean, that's a program that's on your PC. So yeah, you can do that too. There's many things you can do to benchmark your graphics card. But if it's playing correctly, it's giving you positive FPS, there is no sense in worrying about it. Mine, I get good FPS, period. So I don't worry about it. That's the honest level right there. If you can game with it and you're happy with it, that right there is better than any benchmark you can ever do. Because that's what you want to know. You want to know down to the wire, will it give you the best performance with the best visualization? And so far my card has given me everything and all for performance. So I'm not worried about it. Born Joker says, I agree. You just do benchmarks after you set it up. to make sure everything is working properly, in my opinion. Of course, you do the beginning when you buy your graphics card. You set it up, you benchmark it, you tune it. You tune your graphics card. And then after you got it tuned and it's running great, you don't need to benchmark anymore. You're done. Once in a blue moon, go back and check like once every couple months. Just to check. Do your driver updates. If you don't have a problem on the first driver, you shouldn't have a problem on the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. You shouldn't have a problem on any of the drivers because it's all the basic same. They all got the basic level. The only difference is the enhancements for the games. The enhancements for the games. That's added in. But it's just basically all the same. You might get 1 or 2% here in performance measurements, you know, as a little bit of a perk, but not much. Maybe after a driver update just to make sure. Like you said, the real test comes when you actually play the game. Exactly. That's it. Your true test is when you play the game. Your true test is when you put your platform together. That means your CPU, your motherboard, your system RAM. That means with your SSD. It's how you set it up. The perk is, what graphics card are you going to use with it next? What graphics card are you going to use with it next to support that platform? I put my platform together specifically the way I wanted it. I have a Strix motherboard. I have a 5700X, which people don't really talk about that much. Okay. I have 64 gigs with all 4 channels being used. I have a 750 watt power supply that doesn't break the bank. I have a $60 case that come with 6 fans, but I've only needed to use 4. I have a $55 AIO cooler that keeps my 5700 cool as a cucumber. The heat in my case is only 38°C. The center of my case is only 38°C. My motherboard runs fine. Everything runs fine, crisp and cool. Everything stays around between 60 and 70 degrees Celsius, crisp and cool. So, am I going to complain about what I have? Hell no. Because it runs just that good. If I get between 100 and 200 FPS, I'm good. I don't need to have balls to the wall 3,000 to 4,000 FPS. What is that going to give you? You don't need it. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Anything that, if you're 1% lows, are over 60 FPS all the time. They're over 60 FPS on your 1% lows. And, you know, your average is between 100 and 125 FPS. You're good. Just play the game. Be happy with it. You're rocking. As long as you're happy with the visualization, just keep rocking with it. Set your settings, lock it down, play your game, and walk away from overclocking. There's no sense to overclock anymore. The way they're making GPUs now, there's no sense to overclock anymore. It's to enjoy it. That's the whole idea. So, yeah, I do agree. It is still a good CPU, Born Joker. I do agree. It's still a good CPU. Hi, Chicken. Welcome to the live stream. You kids and your high FPS. Yeah. I mean, you know, truthfully, there is only one program. There's only one program. I can't remember the name of it. And I showed everybody on Discord. It broke over 3,000 FPS on my PC. That's not, I didn't even think about it. I seen it, I took a snapshot of it, and I sent it over to Discord. And I told everybody about it. I was like, wow. That's got like super no load on that, you know, that system. This system right here it probably had no load on it. Hello there, Freak91. Welcome to the live stream. How was my day, or how was everybody's day? Well, my day was, I'll tell you, it was a hot day. I mean, seriously a hot day. 113 degrees Fahrenheit. I almost died when I went outside. So, but overall it went great. Overclocking makes it more stable if you do it right and run ring 1-1 with core matters for bandwidth. Yep, I agree. Overclocking RAM with 65, 535, low metric, competitive gaming, man. I got what you're saying. I mean, like I told everybody, I set my system up a certain way. I'm not doing it for competition or anything else. I just set it up like, you know, for everyday gaming, and, you know, something that I can pass along to the consumer that's low budget that does the same thing. Everybody wants balls to the wall. That's up to you guys. Do whatever you got to do. Born Joker says, yeah, what some people call overclocking, I call optimization. There is a difference. For competitive games, Chicken, overclocking carefully with stability is important because of latency for hitting bullets and flicking, etc. Yeah, I do agree. Well, I guess optimize overclocking should be the term. Yeah, overclocking should just be optimization, basically. Your system is optimized for maximum performance. It shouldn't be overclocking anymore. I mean, everybody knows that the only way you can truly overclock is if you go and you start monkeying with the things on your GPU, like the power settings, you know, putting a transistor and, you know, re-regulating the power that goes to your GPU, changing the firmware as well, trying to get more power out of your GPU and stuff like that. Me, just keep it simple. Just play your game and be happy. Simple said and put. Just keep it simple. Not excessive, unstable overclock. Yeah, pretty much. Just cap your FPS, whatever the 1% lows are. Some people just cap it at 60. Every time they're playing the whole game all day long at 60 FPS. Doesn't change. It's just capped. No stuttering. It's running great. Simple. Many people overclock the wrong way. I get your point. Yeah, a lot of people overclock the wrong way. I always opt for stability over more performance. These computers have more performance than you need by far, and in almost every situation. I do agree. Born Joker, I do agree. It has the performance. And the whole idea, balanced. I say it like this, balanced. This way, there's no imbalance. You balance all the way from A to Z, keep it balanced, play your games. I balanced mine from my BIOS all the way up. So it's like this. It runs equal. Not too much bottlenecking. The games play great, no hesitation, no artifacting. Runs smooth, and just I'm happy with mine. Because I balanced it. Makes a big difference than running it overclocked. You can get more performance by balancing your system, keeping it 100% balanced between your CPU and your GPU, other than running it balls to wall to your GPU and making your CPU suffer and struggle and cause yourself to have artifacting, cause yourself to have that situation. You cause your own situation. Resolve it, balance it out. Rebalance everything to where you're not making your CPU suffer and you're not making your GPU underperform. Balance it. It's not hard. That's just my opinion. If you push too much voltage, it degrades the silicon. There you go, chicken, 100%. It degrades the silicon. That is an important point to Mr. Chicken. Born Joker says that. Honestly, the funniest part for me is buying the parts and designing the build. Why is that, Born Joker? Why is that? Is it the funniest that you can put a whole PC together and balance everything out to run smoother than a baby's bottom? But when you buy a pre-built, it runs like dog doo-doo, basically. You notice the difference between you building it and one that's already built. One runs like dog do and the other one doesn't. Yeah, you notice very, very carefully. There are people trying to do 64 MTs 1-to-1 with like 1.5 volts and degrading the RAM. Yeah, I do agree. I heard about that too. For a couple more FPS and slightly better latency, it's not worth it. I agree. 6,000 microtransfers 1-to-1 is the sweet spot for AMD RAM. For AM5. For AM4, They say 3600 is microtransfers is the sweet spot. But I say differently. I say 3200 microtransfers, but overclocking 200 megahertz to 3400 microtransfers 1-to-1 at CL16. So, hate to tell you that's what I've done on my PC, and it's been running 8 months solid without adjusting the voltage, leaving it at the correct voltage if it was 3200. No stuttering, no instability. I'm happy with it. Because I know that where it starts to become unstable is anything above 35, 33 microtransfers. Anything above that, it starts to hesitate a little bit. That's 3600 microtransfers with the RAM I have on hand. And it's Corsair RAM, yes. So, BDI DDR5 can take a lot. I have cooling fan on them. DDR4. Well, I don't need a cooling fan on mine. Mine stay at even if I had them at 3200 megahertz, 3400 megahertz with Corsair RAM runs great. I got 4 sticks, 64 gigs on an AM4 motherboard. AM4 is better supported than AM5. So, I think. Seems like the voltage would make it a lot hotter. I don't mess with the RAM that much though. Actually, no. I run at 1.35. I could go to 1.37 volts, but I leave mine at 1.35 volts. I boosted it up 200 megahertz. The F clock, I moved it up 100. Yeah. So, in a balance, 3400 megahertz with 3200 megahertz RAM at CL16, not CL18. So, I saved myself a little bit from going up to CL16 to CL17. So I sit at CL16. I think it runs pretty good. It has for the last 8 months. I can't complain. Oh, Lordy. I wonder what. Well, let's hope it picks back up. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let me explain to you why this happens. Number one, I got a shitty camera. The camera seems to do this. So, I know I need a new camera. I do apologize with it cutting off on the stream, but I already know it's the camera. So, yay, I'm back. Let's see. Let's go back to what I was reading. And no, it's not, and believe it or not, no, it's not my PC causing this. It's actually the camera with OBS. So I know you guys are going to go there with that. I already know it's the camera with OBS. Wow. But anyway, let me get back to this. I was reading what you guys were writing, so. But when it comes down to the NVIDIA drivers, guys, I don't know if any one of you are having problems or not, but truthfully, I'm not. I'm not at all. Even though my camera screwed up, that's a Microsoft issue, okay? My camera screwed up because Microsoft and the drivers that comes with the camera, that you can get them from Microsoft, but you can't even get it from the person that sold you the camera. So this is what I got to deal with. So I am looking into a new camera from Amazon, hopefully. Scamazon, what everybody's been saying. That's right, I forgot you guys, I forgot to put out my let's see. Hold on. We will get you a new link. We will get you guys a new link. How about this? We'll paste it. There's a new link for your Discord if you want to join on the Discord. There's a link for you. And it looks like you got the link. Yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome there, Freaky, to the Discord channel. We got you. We all talk on the general text chat, just to let you know. So, if you're wondering that, that's where we all talk. But if you want to leave like special messages or something, I have different links for like graphics cards, motherboards, and stuff like that. If you're looking to talk about a specific item, I got that broke down too. So if you want to keep it off of the main chat and you want to talk about a specific item, I got specific items and, you know, specific links for specific items. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome, Freaky. No problem. No problem at all. Check and bought a new Mobo Asus Tough X870 plus Wi-Fi. Your X870E Nova Wi-Fi fried your 9950X with your RMA. Ew. That's not good. Ew. That motherboard should be stable up to 7400. Yeah, should. I do agree with you guys on that. I thought they put in a new BIOS update that can make it more stable up to 9400. Or I could be wrong on it, but I thought I seen something that's supposed to be more stable, you know, to carry you guys up to a higher frequency. Wow. So you're telling me that with the 800 series motherboards, using anything over 6400 microtransfers is more than 1-to-1? Wow. I just let you guys, you know, you guys are doing your thing over there. That's cool too, you know. But sometimes, guys, when you guys get in there and you start chatting and everything else and talking about, you know, different things, a lot of people get, you know, they get that positive feeling that, you know, there's more to than just, you know, simple and stable. You can go unstable if you overclock too much of your system RAM. But to stay stable would be to stay around the close to without overclocking. A lot of people, they just buy new RAM to go up to different heights. Me, I'm on the other fence. I would prefer to take the RAM that I have, see how far it overclocks without breaking the bank, and be happy with it. You can find overclocking kits and different overclocking RAM to accomplish that goal. So do keep that in mind. There are, if you like Expo, which I don't use Expo. DOCP. So One day, I know it's coming. I know it's coming that I'm going to need an AM5 motherboard, and I know I'm going to be going in that direction. So, yeah. Just remember, I'll make the splash right here. I'll make the splash if you guys make the splash. I'll make the plunge. So if you get 6400 megahertz CL30 or CL28, I heard people talking about 6400 megahertz CL28. What do you guys think? That's what I want to know. What do you guys think? Because I heard people having good gameplay with that. AM5, it's best to run only 2 sticks instead of 4, because the memory controller won't handle that much. So if you run 2 32 gig stick and you run 64 gigs of RAM, then you're not going to need much more than that for right now. See? I know something too, don't you know? I got 64 gigs of RAM and I don't worry about it all day long. I mean, really? And no, you're not ruining my live stream, guys. I'm just joining in the conversation, like you guys join in with my conversations. And it is what it is. Oh, you're fine. Freaky, look. You're fine, man. Don't worry about it. You guys, I join in with you guys join in with me. That's all the part of having a live stream, is to, you know, bring up information that people might need to know. It's perfect. I don't have a problem with that. I've already said what I needed to say and what you guys, you know, keeping you guys up to date. Now, with all this this is just extra. I'm just joining in with you guys on the extra. So, that's fine. Hey, I ain't got no problem with it. You want to give little tips out there? Hey, that's up to you. I have no problem with that. You want to share a little bit of something with everybody? I have no problem with that. That's all a part of the stream, is to keep everybody informed. You guys are keeping everybody informed. I'm trying to keep everybody informed. We're all doing it all the same, so don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. I don't have a heart. I'm not like Hardfeld when it comes to who says what on the stream. You guys want to hear what I got to say for the next 2 hours? That's fine. Just let me get it out there. You know, and after that, you know, usually the first hour I get everything out there, and after the first hour, it's like no holds barred. How about that? Well, you guys were asking. 8800 CL28, that is getting tested by people at the moment, and even faster. Look, I want to see 10,000 megahertz, 10,000 megahertz with an F clock at 5,000 megahertz and the CL at 28. That's what I want to see. That I want to see. You know, what was it? Was it Computex, wasn't it? Or was it CES? Or I think it was Computex. They showed that PC with 10,000 megahertz. What happened to the 10,000 megahertz they were supposed to put out there? Whatever happened? They talk about it on a PC, but it never comes mainstream. What the hell? Why isn't it mainstream? Why ain't they bumping things up? Why ain't they giving us the balls to the wall kind of thing? What the hell, man? Really? They say it out there and they tease everybody and then they give everybody the big finger after that? Man, come on. Ugh. I just hate when they tease you like that and then they take it away from you. It's like you give candy to a baby and yank it from him and say, too bad, it's mine. It's like, damn. Well, see, the problem is this. It's the controllers. They got two controllers they're using on what? For 4 sticks? Now, from what I hear is that they're supposed to put two controllers, or one controller for 4 sticks. They're supposed to be putting on the new CPUs 2 controllers. Am I wrong about this? I think they're put 2 controllers for 4 sticks. And it's supposed to be better at managing. Well, even if it's limited or not, I still think, you know, you can make it work. I just have a feeling I would rather than buying more RAM, I would just like to overclock mine a couple hundred megahertz, give it a little bit extra push, and call it a day. Instead of going and spending, what, just to go from 32 to 3600 megahertz? I really don't see spending that extra $120 to go and do that. Got to look at the way of the consumer's looking at it, and you got to look at how much they can afford. And to give them that cross information, I really wouldn't tell them to go buy more RAM. Not when if your RAM is good enough, it can overclock. Without changing without changing the 1-to-1 ratio. Not many people talk about just taking your RAM, overclocking it, and see if it still gives you the same 1-to-1 ratio. Nobody talks about it. I mean, nobody talks about it. Yeah, I do agree. Some speeds are ridiculous there, Born Joker. Fun fact is 3200 1N 100 is better than 36 2N 100. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm at 3200, but it's not 3200. Mine is 3400 on 3200, and still keeping the CL16 is still keeping somewhat of a 1-to-1 ratio, I think. That's just in my opinion. You tell me, guys, me going from 3200 to 3400 megahertz, is that still keeping a 1-to-1 ratio? Think about it. I'm not chasing records. Me? I'm not chasing anything. I did it because I overclocked mine because I like the stability. I think it's better stable at 3400 than it is 3200. But I got 4 sticks, so that's kind of setting my odds, I think. My 10700K is like 30% faster with 4000 CL14 max. Wow. Yeah. From what I've seen, not very easy to keep 1-to-1 ratio. There's always a few places that aligns. Yeah, that's true. 6000 CL30, and then just lower the until crash, then go 20 up. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is I'm not running mine at 1.45 volts. I'm running mine at 1.35 volts. I never need to push the voltage up. I like to keep the voltage down. I don't like to push the voltage upwards. You get your better performance when you can keep the voltage stable and you bring it down just a little bit. I did on mine. It's still running. And even with my CPU, it's only going in between 900 millivolts to 1.1 volts, period. My CPU. So, yep, you're right. Easy way to do it is measure the heat. Right now, I'm measuring the heat, guys. 53C. How long have I been live streaming? My graphics card's 36C. My CPU's at 53C. And I've been going for 2 hours on the live stream. I don't complain about it. Well, freaky. Let me tell you this. You call Corsair and you tell them that their RAM is too low. Their stock RAM, oh, that's rip jaws. You know that you know right here what this RAM is running at. You probably can't see it that well, but this says 1.35 volts. Even the rip jaws I got says 1.35 volts. I know you probably can't read it. Right there. 1.35 volts. Sorry about my fingers. I've been working on my car today. Just to let you guys know my fingers are dirty. But I have been working on my car today. So, I know somebody's going to say, well, Jay, why don't you go clean your fingers? Yeah, I'll stick them in my ass. No, oh, DDR5. Yeah. Okay, I got you. I was talking about DDR4. Okay, I got you guys. My bad. You guys moved up in the world. I'm still back in the Stone Age, you know. There's a reason why I built my system the way I did. And you know, I'm not disappointed in it. I am, so far I've been rocking with it all this time. I'm happy with it. Even content creating, I'm happy with it. I mean, I was thinking about getting ready to push another 25 terabytes of hard drive space on this. 25 more terabytes. Well, hell, I still got 12 terabytes free. I still haven't used up all 16. So, yeah. you know, Freaky, I'm gonna tell you, on AM4, G skill is not the way to go, unless it's Trident Z. This right here, I got this right here, I got free with the motherboard. I got it for free with the motherboard. I just use it as an example. You notice I got the set sitting right on my shelf. I would never, ever, ever recommend that crap to anybody. This is what I recommend right here. And they sell it in DDR5 too. Right here. Corsair Vengeance. I like it. Well, I'm going to tell you guys like this. I use 23 gigabytes when I play the games. So, I know 64 is overkill, but I use 23 gigabytes of it every time I play a game. So, I would rather have 64 and have a little bit of elbow room for the future and not worry about it than to have 32 gigs and sooner or later you're using all of it. It's getting to that point. It's fine lines. It's getting to the point where 32 gigs, they're catching up with it really quick. That's the reason why I'm at 64 gigs. I know I'm only using between 22 to 25 gigabytes, but they're catching up. Seriously. Well, I couldn't name a game that they're using 40 gigabytes. That would be crazy, guys. Wow. 40 gigabytes. That's sick, guys. $40 Now you guys know why I got 64. I got plenty of headroom, so I'm just saying. But that is sick. Born Joker, I don't take a hit with mine. Maybe on AM5 you might, But on AM4, I'm not taking a big hit from it. I mean, truthfully, not really that much at all. Because I guess the way they designed AM4 compared to AM5. But 64 gigs. I mean, if you're worried about a performance hit, going above 64 gigs, that would be taking a big performance hit. Going to like 128 gigabytes, unless you're doing massive content creating work, you know, because if you're going to use more than 64 gigs, you should go to at least a 12 to 16 core processor with all that extra system RAM. So wow. How much did you guys think my 64 gigs cost me? I know it's not AM5. I know you guys are talking about AM5, but how much do you think mine cost? Take a guess. Yeah, I have. Chicken, I have seen it. It looks sick. $30? Really, Born Joker? For 64 gigs, I paid $126. Back a long time ago. Now, you can buy it for, what, 90 bucks, maybe? Yeah, for AM4. But you ain't gonna find AM5 for 60 bucks. Not for 6,400 microtransfers. No way. Especially looking between CL30 and CL28. No. That's kind of pushing the envelope. I would like to see, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I would like to see, instead of CU DIM being on Intel, I would like to see it come to AMD. AMD, to get these companies to crack down and get CU DIM on AMD, that might be a game changer. No, I said no. Born Joker, I said DDR4 on mine. Chicken's got DDR5. Chicken, tell me the reason why you don't like Corsair RAM. I know I hear a lot of people saying they don't like it. I've run it for close to a couple years now. Well, longer, a little longer than a couple years, but why? I'm not gathering that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I get it. I get you now. Because they have bad heat sinks on DDR5. Oh, okay. Well, I don't notice that. I really don't. Let me grab this again. You're telling me this fat, old, fatty heat sink is not good enough? Well, DDR4 has got to be good enough. But DDR5? Okay, now you got my curiosity. For AM5, what are you guys using? Patriot, or what are you using? Let's talk about this. Well, spill the beans, man. That's because G-Skill runs A die and Corsair runs B die. That's probably why. A lot of people have said, you know, between G-Skill and Corsair, G-Skill runs A die and Corsair runs B die. That's what I heard. You guys can correct me on that. So when it comes to AM5, you're only going to have 2 sticks on the motherboard. What's the best RAM, guys? Just get it out there, tell the world what the best RAM is. So everybody knows when they go to buy the next time that they're not buying the wrong RAM. Try to make it to where if you want the consumer to have it affordable, make it to where it's affordable for the consumer. Look at it in the overall picture of the glass globe. What you would tell the consumer, the people out there that you want them to hear you. What's the best RAM to use that's the best bang for the buck? Simple. Yeah, but what brand there, Born Joker? What brand? People want to know the brand so they know what they're going to go out there and buy. What's the micro transfers on the RAM? What's the frequency on the F clock? What's the scoop on narrowing the clock timings? People want to know these things. People want to know why the numbers, why do they keep on the back of these, why do they keep the numbers on the back of these cards? They want to know why. They want to know why and what to set and everything else. Because if they want to narrow the timings, they want to know these things. Where do they find it in the BIOS? How do they set it up? You know, details. You know, this is what things people want to know. Is it wise to adjust the timings or just leave them all on auto and just adjust the main frequency and adjust the F clock and leave everything on auto without adjusting the clock latency or anything else? I'll give you a helpful hint. I don't touch the clock timings. I touch the frequency and I touch the F clock. I don't touch the voltage. I let the computer set the timing, because the computer can narrow the timings faster than me putting just a locked number there. So I leave it on auto. I let the computer set the timing. That's the way I do things. But other people do it a different way. Yeah. I do agree with making it bulletproof there, Born Joker. I do agree with you there. Yeah, well, look, Freaky. I agree with you getting him the best kit possible, but in order for him to get that narrow banded 1-to-1, all I'm saying is the best bang for the buck without having to go the 900 yards. A lot of people don't want to go the 900 yards. They just want plug and play. That's it. They don't want to have to screw with anything else other than plug and play. Some people don't know how to build a computer. Some people don't know how to set the clock timings. Some people don't know all this background shit, you know. Some people do, some people don't. That's what makes it harder for everybody to get their computer to run correctly, and it's always having this how can you say this, instability, is because they go in there and they screw with the timings and they can't get the timings correct. Not a lot of people know. Look, I'm going to explain this really quickly to you guys. Not a lot of people know that the clock timings are on the back of your system RAM. If you want to know, the clock timings are on the back of your system RAM. So they're always there. If you want to precisely set in your timings, you just need a magnifying glass to see it. So, just a helpful hint there. Oh, be nice, guys. No, I'm just reading through you guys. Time to move to Antarctica. The best place for PC overclocking temps. True, true. The only deal breaker is I don't think Amazon delivers there. Yeah. I don't think so neither. I ain't never heard Amazon going to Antarctica. That would be crazy. At 6,000 CL30 for $90, and you know it has good temps. You can't go wrong with that. True, true. Yeah, for the average gamer or consumer, they don't care about the die. Yeah, they don't. Just play stock. Yep. You'll probably put 20 or 30 bucks back into your pocket too. Yeah, you probably could. Okay, guys, look. I set you guys up on Discord. So if you want to join our Discord, it's free to join the Discord. Cost you nothing. You can go over there and chat. We have everything set up for you, so no worries there. But anyway, guys, I'm glad you rocked with me for the last couple hours. And I know this is like the last, it's going to be almost close to 3 hours. But I'm going to go ahead and head out. I will be on Discord if you're going to be there. We'll rock along on Discord. But I'm going to jump out of here for now. So you guys stay safe out there. Truthfully, let me see what else you guys wrote before we go. Yeah, one type better for faster timings, other higher frequency, much better. No. Okay. You're welcome, Born Joker, and everybody. You're all welcome for partying with us for the last couple hours, 3 hours almost, but we're getting there. But anyway, if you did enjoy the live stream, I know it's kind of wild and crazy. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West today, but you know, sometimes you gotta just put it into the Wild Wild West to have a little bit of fun and excitement. So we did put a little bit into the Wild Wild West at the last end of it. But anyway, if you made it this far to the end of the live stream, make sure you hit the live, I was about to say the live button, but hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell. And if you want to become the YouTube member of this channel, I'm not saying like subscriber. It's great to have subscribers. But if you want to help support the channel, become a member of the channel right here. That helps support if you want to help support the channel. Because we're working to get to where we can do builds and everything else and become like a big time YouTuber, you know, and have all these new fangled kind of things that are out there in the market. But you guys know what I mean. But anyway. And thank you for subbing. We do appreciate it there, Freaky. We do appreciate it. Catch you guys on Discord. Until the next time. Did I say next time? Yeah, I probably said next time. But until the next time in the next video, you know it is. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget, I'm not going to be home Monday or Tuesday. So I'm not going to have a video for Sunday for the simple fact I have to get ready for Monday and Tuesday. So hopefully I'll be home on Wednesday. So that way I'll be able to get ready for Thursday so I can make a video on Friday so I can do the live stream on Saturday. Makes sense? But anyway, we'll see you on the next one, guys.